Today I'm going to be giving away a free t-shirt, bringing you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown, revealing the comics I bought this week, and, if I mess up enough, a blooper reel. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. Coming to you from Clint's Comics right here in Monroe, Louisiana. And this is an Aquaman-themed Comic Hero tee, and to go along with it, this Golden Trident. All right, time to give away a free t-shirt. Now, last week's episode, I asked, who is the identity of the Black Cat in the pages of Spider-Man? Well, the answer is Felicia Hardy. And two people have answered correctly, and I'm about to draw their names. So the winner of the free Comic Hero tee for this week's episode is... Adam Hodge from Calhoun, Louisiana. So congratulations, Adam. You win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. All right. Here's the question for next week's episode. And you know what, I admit that question was kind of hard. And so from this day forward, no more hard questions. Or, well, not too hard anyway. So here's the question for next week's episode. And this is a Superman related question, and this is very easy. You don't necessarily have to read the comic. You could you could have seen the Superman movies, you could have watched Lois and Clark, New Adventures of Superman, you could have watched Superman, the animated series. Who is the editor-in-chief of the Daily Planet? Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free Comic Hero tee in next week's episode. Alright, I have some good news and some bad news. The bad news is, no one has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. The good news is, I have one on standby in the event that this would happen. And this one, and I hope I don't offend anybody by saying this, but this one has a lot of blonde in it. Representing DC, we have Supergirl. And representing Valiant, oops, I almost said Marvel there. Well, that's because I'm used to saying Marvel. But anyway, representing Valiant, we have Faith. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's Supergirl versus Faith. Supergirl possesses superhuman strength, speed, hearing, endurance and stamina, various extrasensory and vision powers, flight, invulnerability, advanced hand-to-hand combat, and genius-level intellect. Faith possesses the psionic ability of flight, and the ability to move things with her psionic abilities including people, objects, as well as the ability to create psionic shields and barriers, and even psionic attacks mimicking gusts of wind. Who will win? One thing's for sure, these two won't be on the ground very much in this fight. Supergirl has many advantages in this fight, but never count out a mutant with psionic powers. Supergirl would land the first punch, sending Faith flying 1,000 feet backwards. Faith would then fly towards Supergirl, suddenly stop at about 30 yards from her and deliver a psionic blast. This angers Supergirl and she relies on her heat vision. Faith catches on and blocks the beams of heat vision. Supergirl would then use her freeze breath to freeze Faith. This also proves to be unsuccessful as Faith created a force field as soon as the ice began to form around her. Faith then goes on the offense, creates a force field around Supergirl and pounds her into the ground repeatedly. With Supergirl being barely able to stand, Faith would then psionically choke out the Girl of Steel. Faith wins, and that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Alright, well I hope you enjoyed the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown for this week's episode. And if you have a fight request for future episodes, contact info is down there. Alright, let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
Alright, first up is Green Lanterns number 3. Now this is part 3 of the Red Planet story arc, and what's happening is that the Red Lanterns, led by Atrocitus, have decided to become the new guardians of Space Sector 2814. This doesn't exactly sit well with Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz, who are the Green Lanterns of that sector now. But the Red Lanterns are also putting more emphasis on the planet Earth. They pretty much want to protect it. No, they don't. What they really want to do is that they want to fill the entire world with rage and hate, and it's up to these two to stop it. Now, if you heard my commentary about this book in the very first episode of Comically Speaking, the other web series that you'll be watching right after you watch this one, these two they kind of remind me. If you've ever watched this old TV show called Hunter, they kind of remind me so much of the characters Rick Hunter and Dee Dee McCall. It's a great book, and I can't wait to read this issue. All right, next up is Supergirl #1. This is the new Supergirl series, and they made her younger. She is in her, I think in her mid to late teens, and they also incorporated a lot of elements from the TV series. Instead of being a metropolis, she's a national city, and her adopted parents are the Danvers. The Danverses, rather. They're also helping her with some of her missions. But it's only going to be a matter of time until she catches up with her father, who she thought had perished on Krypton. But he's actually the cyborg Superman. That's right, folks. It's not Hank Henshaw. It's Zor-El. All right, next up is Superman #6. This is part 6 of the Son of Superman story arc. And what's going on is that the Eradicator, or the new 52 version of the Eradicator, has decided to show up, and he wants to kill Superman and Lois' son, John. Now keep in mind, this isn't the Superman from the new 52. That one died. This one is from the original DC universe, and he found out that his son is only half Kryptonian. He's like, okay, this does not sit well with our race. He must die. Sounds kind of racist, doesn't it? Well, anyway, just as Superman's about to deliver the final blow to Eradicator, the Eradicator somehow sucks Superman, pretty much devours Superman alive. And not only inside, this sounds kind of gross, but inside the Eradicator are just about all the dead people, all the people who died, are the essences of all the people who died on Krypton. And Superman is saying, okay, we all got to work together. We've got to. I'm going to absorb you all, and we're going to get out of here, and we're going to defeat the Eradicator. And then when they do, the Eradicator loses all his powers, and then Superman exits out of the Eradicator, and it's on. Yeah, that sounds kind of gross. But that's what happened in #5. I'm not kidding. All right, next up is Aquaman #3. Now, what's been going on in this book is that, oh, by the way, great job by Dan Abnett writing this book. But Aquaman, in an attempt to try to reconcile and connect with all the surface dwellers, as he calls them. Well, actually, Aquaman's half Atlantean, half human. He ends up setting up some kind of forum over at the Spindrift Station, which is his embassy to the outside world, or to the surface world. And somebody crashes the party in the disguise of a reporter, quote unquote, from the Daily Planet. And it's actually Black Manta, and he destroys everything. He almost kills Aquaman, and this is a continuation of that. Now I wouldn't be wearing this shirt I wouldn't be wearing this shirt without buying an issue of Aquaman. But anyway, up next is Cyborg Rebirth. This is a prelude one-shot that's pretty much going to usher in the new Cyborg series that's going to be coming out real soon. And for all y'all to know, Cyborg's real name is Victor Stone. He was a former football player who, in the old DC universe, there was some kind of accident over at his father's laboratory, but in this one, he ends up getting almost killed by Darkseid. And his father, Silas Stone, decides to use the technology in his lab and made him half man, half human. And he's been around for about 36 years. I mean, the character has, but this version of it debuted in 2011 as a founding member of the Justice League. And I think the Justice League is a much better fit for him, because I always felt that he was too mature to be a Teen Titan or a Titan at that matter. But I can't wait to read that. I can't wait to read the new series when it comes out. All right, that's 6 I bought, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 7,461. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and here's the question for next week's episode one more time. Who is the editor-in-chief of the Daily Planet? Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free Comic Hero tee in next week's episode. But if you don't mind buying a t-shirt from me, for adults they're $10 and for children they're $5. And after you're done watching this episode, go ahead and watch Comically Speaking. But I probably won't have that episode probably until the day after. But if you're watching a little late, go ahead and watch episode 3 of Comically Speaking. If you're watching episode 3 of Comically Speaking, I only got one word for you. Stop! Watch episode 128 first, then episode 3. And also, I encourage you all to come out here to Clint's Comics. I mean, Claire is doing such a wonderful job here. And not only will you find comics here, you'll find board games, you'll find pop bottles. On weekends they have Magic the Gathering tournaments. They have video game tournaments, and they also show movies. So, I mean, with all that in mind, if you go home disappointed, it's your own fault. Just saying. All right, I'm Victor Nunley. I'm the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 129 rather. And go on and watch episode 3 of Comically Speaking. So till then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero.